Mavs and Clippers, Game 1 Sunday here in L.A., 3:30 Eastern. Mavericks favored by 1.5 in Game 1, favored to win the series. So, Keyshawn, the closet Clipper fan that you are, you riding with your Clippers against Luka and Kyrie?
I am. I'm riding with the Clips for now. Because, again, when you have a personal interest invested in the four guys that are from California, you feel good about letting them try to advance as far as they can. Now, as far as the organization goes with the Clippers, I don't care if they win the championship because it won't mean anything. Yeah. It means more to those four guys that haven't gotten a ring outside of Kawhi got his.
So you feel kind of a brotherhood with those guys?
Yeah. I want Brody, I want Brook to get his, Paul to get his, and James to get his. I know Kawhi has gotten a couple already, but not in L.A.
And they're all Southern California
All guys, Southern California guys. So you just feel a certain way. Now, look, I know y'all like Luka. We all like Luka. One of the best to do it so far as a young kid. Kyrie is magical. One of the best to ever do it.
That's
ball handle skills.
He is magical.
Ball handle skills is ridiculous.
Yep.
But I feel like the Clippers are the overall better team if there's a Kawhi Leonard on the floor. But I still feel like if for whatever reason he's not available to them, they still got enough. A couple years ago, Paul George took them all the way down to the Western Conference Final on his back. There was no Westbrook. There was no James Harden on the team. So now you match all that up with Ty Lue, considered one of the top 3 coaches in the NBA right now, on X's and O's and motivation and everything else, that they'll have a strong chance, and I believe they can beat the Mavs, and they will beat the Mavs without a Kawhi. I get it. Luka and Kyrie together score 80 points. I get all that. Yeah, we love him. He shoots, he's big, he can dribble, he can dish. I understand all that. But in the end, they don't have enough horses for me. It just feels that way. It feels that way to me. I'm taking the Clips, no question about it.
I would have had a different answer, but, I don't agree with you, Key.
Oh, okay.
I think Kawhi is a big loss. I mean, this is your main guy.
I didn't say it wasn't big.
This is a huge loss to them. And it just feels like every year when you have high hopes for the Clippers, something happens. And it's been going on, even before the Kawhi Leonard era.
Way back when they played at the sports arena.
The Blake Griffin and Chris Paul just seems like something every year. Like there's a dark cloud hanging over the Los Angeles Clippers while they're in the Staples. Now, maybe when they move to the Intuit Center, things have changed. But with Kawhi going down now, this puts more pressure on James Harden.
Yeah.
Before, I thought this was the perfect ideal situation for James. He's not in no number 1 or 2 position like he was in Houston and Philadelphia, where he was asked to be like the number 2 guy. And, when things don't go well for the number 1 option, backup was number 2 when James went for 40 points against the Celtics in 2 of the games. So now we get to the Clippers to where he's the 3rd option. I was like, okay, this is a great role. This is a perfect opportunity to not have any pressure on him. He doesn't have to come up with 40 points every night. He plays his role. If he got 15 to 16 points, 8 to 9 assists a night, that's good enough for them to win. But now you put him in a situation to where he goes back to the number 2 guy. I'm just not comfortable with him at this age.
I'm with you on that. Yeah.
To rely on him versus a Luka and Kyrie tandem to where you're like, all right, James, we need you to go back to James Harden of old. I don't think he's capable of that every night. And in saying so, Westbrook is not going to be the Westbrook of old. These guys are up there in age. These guys, they're 30-plus years old, and you're asking them to be who they were. Now, can Paul George do it? Night in and night out? Maybe, maybe not. He's had his moments where things don't go well for him. But all in all, I just think the way Luka and Kyrie are playing right now, they're one of the hottest teams in the league. Luka arguably is the best player in the league, arguably. He could win MVP this year. If he got it this year, would I be mad? No. I mean, the numbers speak for himself. He's leading the league in scoring, 9 rebounds, 9 assists. Kyrie has flown under the radar. He didn't make the All-Star team. No. He didn't make the Olympic team. So I really believe that there's something he's out to prove this year. And I think this year he has a legacy on the line. A lot he's been written off because of the things he's done in Brooklyn and the things he's said and how it ended in Boston.
Yeah.
And I think Kyrie is more locked in than ever.
I agree.
If he goes out here and they win the championship, he has the most to gain legacy-wise. He's lost his shoe with Nike. You know, so many things have happened to him. He's just flown under the radar.
Yep.
But in essence, he's had a great year.
Yep. Yes.
And so I'm actually pulling for Dallas. I think they'll win this series. I think they'll get to the conference finals. Some things have to happen if they play Denver that go their way, but they're a championship team. And I've always said that Luka get him a running mate, he can have a chance because I've seen the things he's done in the playoffs with no one. And now he has a running mate, and they can make a serious run.
All right. So I told Keyshawn from the start, your Clippers will go as far as Kawhi carries them. And now I'm told he is definitely out for game one. He will play in game two.
Really?
But he has a weird swelling in his knee that the Clipper doctors cannot figure out. At first, there was some thought about, did he get it infected? But it happened in a March 29th game at Orlando, in which Kawhi had 29 and 11 rebounds with 4 steals and 2 blocks. And after the game, he said, I got a knee issue. I got something going on here, and it started to swell. Now he's missed 8 straight games. And there's nothing structurally wrong. There's no damage, there's no ligament damage. So they're going to hold him until Tuesday night, game 2.
Okay.
But they're already saying, I've been told, that he can't guard Luka the way he would because they just can't risk him on Luka like that because there's going to be too much strain on that knee. So now Paul George is going to have to do the yeoman's work, the bulk of the work on Luka. I don't know, maybe they can mix and match some other guys. But I just don't like, I definitely don't like their chances without Kawhi in game one. I think Dallas wins game one. And as you know, once you get one up in a series like that on the road, then I got the Mavericks. I just don't think Kawhi's, I think you'll get about half of a Kawhi. You'll get him on offense, you won't get him on defense. So that scares me. And now back to the Mavericks. You said Kyrie has flown under the radar. I think he and Luka have flown under the radar. Because very quietly at the end of the year, they went on a run where they won 12 out of 13.
Right.
And if I look at the numbers they put up over those 13 games, look what Luka did over those 13 games. 32, 11, and 10. Well, those are MVP numbers, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kyrie was 26, 5, and 5. And then the 2 guys they added at the trade dedeadline changed their life.
Which playoff teams did they beat in down the stretch?
They weren't playing some bad teams. I'll give you that.
I'm just asking you.
But P.J. Washington looked like a player to me because he's 13 and 7. And Daniel Gafford, I've never seen anything quite like Daniel Gafford because over those 13 games, he made 70 of 89 shots. You ever hear of this? Because that's 79%. Over 13 games, he made 70 of 89 shots. That's impossibly great. Nobody does that. That's like inhuman.
Shaq-like.
Yeah, it is Shaq-like. And then that Derek Lively missed some games at the end of the year. He lost his mom, and he had a knee issue. Well, now he's back. And all he is 7'1". He's a rookie out of Duke, but he is lively, like literally lively on the defensive end. So I don't know. I just think they're playing at a higher level than a team that has a big question mark hanging over Kawhi Leonard right now.
But the Clippers are going to have a question mark, much like Paul said anyway, because nobody believes in the Clippers, regardless if Kawhi's on the floor or CP3 or anybody. It's just there's something from that era of the past ownership that still affected them.
They had a point. You know, they had the James Harden trade, and when he first got there, it didn't go well. Then all of a sudden, it turned around.
No, it took off for a while.
And everybody
said wait 11 games.
No, but after that, they went on a tear. You remember?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Everybody, they became the favorite at one point in the season.
Yes, that is correct.
They were a favorite to get to the conference finals or the finals. And then I just don't know what happened. Even before Kawhi went down, they just weren't playing well.
They lost about 4 games in a row.
Yeah, before Kawhi went down. Yeah. They started not playing well again. So it's a story.
And then they started playing well again.
They started playing well again. So it's just like, this is what I'm saying about the Clippers. You don't know which team you're going to get. And it's like that. I feel like that about James Harden sometimes. You don't know which James Harden you're going to get. You know, one night he'll be the ultimate scorer where he gets you 40, but then I think he starts deferring the next game and wants to turn into this passer. And you know, he's the best of both worlds with the scoring and passing, but he has to make a decision on when it's time to score and when it's time to be that passer. And now without Kawhi, I truly believe he has to be the old James Harden of old. He has to have a flashback. And I know he's capable of doing it. He still has the jumper. He still can get to the basket. He can still get fouled. And so
But does he have to do that night in and night out, though?
If there's no Kawhi, for them to get past Dallas.
Why? Why couldn't he do it one or two nights and others chip in?
We saw that in Philadelphia, though.
But that's a different team.
Yeah, but he got the MVP.
And different players.
He got the MVP with him.
But you just said the MVP. But you just said the MVP against Harford and them and the Celtics didn't show up.
Stars winning this game. But you can't win series without your stars. Is James Harden a star?
Yeah, I would say
he's a star. He's a star. I would say that.
Star.
Is Paul George a star?
I would say, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, they got 2 stars still, even without Kawhi.
Yes.
They have to show up.
James Harden is the insurance policy for the Clippers, just like you told me an hour ago. Porzingis was the insurance policy along with Drew Holiday.
He's no longer insurance without Kawhi now. He has to be there. No, he has to be there.
Why?
He has to be one of the guys now. He can't.
But that's what the insurance policy is for. Yeah, for you to be one of the guys when you need to step in.
Like James Harden in game 1 has to give you like 25 and 12. Like I believe that.
And you don't think he's capable of giving you 25 and 12?
I do believe that.
Okay.
I do believe he's capable.
So if he gives you 25 and 12,
but he has to do it. He has to do it.